Whoa, welcome back to the Tesla, guys. Welcome the new X3 M40i to the garage. We are running a quick errand, but it is Tesla Talk Tuesday, so you know the drill.
She's looking good. All right, so if you've been watching the vlog, you may or may not know that I have not one but two Cybertrucks on pre-order, and yeah, it was by accident. I ordered one, got an error screen, and then ordered another one, and the next day I got two confirmation emails, but it's $100, fully refundable. So I left them both in there. They're both for tri-motor variants, which is the 500 plus miles of range, 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds, tri-motors. So really excited for those. But apparently the Cybertruck pre-orders have surpassed 650,000, which means that Tesla has effectively gotten $65 million in basically free loans, because people that put down a $100 deposit on 650,000 Cybertrucks, well, you do the math, $65 million interest-free loan. Now, yes, anybody could, in theory, get their $100 back at any point in time, and Tesla would have to repay that money. But the point is, the majority of these people that are putting down this money are going to hold that for, at least a year until the Cybertruck is released, and therefore it is an interest-free loan until the Cybertruck does come out. Other interesting stuff regarding the Cybertruck is that I guess they've released it in a sense. They put it in a public museum. I think it was the Peterson Museum, something. It was a museum out in California where anybody can go and see the Cybertruck in person. Now it is roped off, so you can only, sort of see it from like, 2-3 feet away, but it is allowing some people to get some nice pictures, get a better perception of how big the truck is in person. So it is neat to see that they're doing this. As most of you probably know if you've been following Tesla, they spend $0 on advertising. So all of it is word of mouth and just people sort of talking about the brand and showing it off. So putting it in the Peterson Museum, I think that's what it is. Another way of just sort of free advertising for the company and the Cybertruck itself, and just put that polarizing design out there, and it really gets people talking about it. Now, speaking of the Cybertruck, thank you, Waze. The biggest competitor, I would say, is probably Rivian. Obviously, you have Nikola, but I think that's going to be a 2 to 3 year timeline, whereas Rivian should be in the more near future, I guess. But they came out with a really cool YouTube video that talks about their battery production and testing that all their battery and battery packs go through. Crazy temperature swings, whether it's, over 100 degrees. Thank you, Tesla. Whether it's, over 100 degrees in like deserts or just really hot summers, or if it's in, going on ski trips and spending multiple days at negative temperatures. So having those swings in the battery, you want to make sure your battery pack is prepared for that and it doesn't kill certain cells. And then also the reusability of those packs after you're done with the car, using it for like effectively, how Tesla has power walls, being able to use it as battery storage solutions and reuse that so you don't waste all of those batteries that they've made. Really cool video. I would definitely recommend checking it out. I think it's only like 4 minutes long, but it's on Rivian's YouTube channel. Also, as a side note, Rivian is working on a quad motor version of their truck and SUV so that it can do like a 360 tank turn in place. So that would be the first, I guess, car, truck, whatever you want to call it, SUV, to have a quad motor setup. Audi e-tron S prototype is apparently doing some testing on the Nürburgring, and they're saying that they're going to be the first ones to come out with a tri-motor production vehicle. However, if the Tesla Plaid Model S powertrain comes out before the Audi e-tron S, Tesla will definitely be the first ones to do it, because my understanding is that the Plaid powertrain is effectively the same powertrain that should be in the Roadster. It's kind of like a testing ground, and that the Model S should have it by the end of this year, or
your destination will be on the right.
Thank you, Tesla. Or at the very least, they should announce it by the end of the year. Maybe the cars might be delayed, who knows? But to say the least, unless Audi, hustles here, they're claiming that the e-tron S will be the first tri-motor production car. However, who really cares, because the Audi e-tron S specs are still terrible. The car is supposed to do 0 to 60, 4.5 seconds, which is slower than my current rear wheel drive single motor Model S that's 6 years old with 105,000 miles on it. So I don't really know what Audi is doing, but you'd think with a tri-motor setup, they could, you know, improve those numbers quite a bit, but they just haven't. So it is a little disappointing, but it is cool that they're still working on this stuff and, you know, being another company that is pushing Tesla along.
Now, as you know, if you've seen some of my older YouTube videos as well, is that Tesla is increasing full self-driving by $1,000 come July 1st. Currently, if you are a Tesla owner, in your app, there's like an upgrade section. And in that upgrade section, if you don't have enhanced autopilot, it is an option for $2,000 right now. So it's discounted for current Tesla owners. This is different than the full self-driving package. The full self-driving is still $7 grand, but there's an autopilot option, which is like, I think it's like auto steer and like speed aware cruise control kind of thing. So like it steers the car and obviously adjusts based on traffic aware cruise control. There we go. So it has those options. For autopilot, it's only $2,000. Full self-driving is still $7,000, and full self-driving will be going up to $8,000 is my understanding on July 1st. So, and speaking of Tesla, current inventory cars, because of the quarter end push, which I believe is the end of through the end of June, they are doing any inventory car that you purchase with 1 year of free unlimited supercharging. So if you are looking to buy a car, definitely consider their inventory cars as an option. And with that, you can probably get a year of free unlimited supercharging. So if you do need a lot of supercharging, very handy. Also, as I mentioned in an older video, if you go to like a Tesla store, not the service centers, but the stores, a lot of times they have the demo vehicles to take out and test drive. If you buy one of those, you can often get like $1,000 or $2,000, something like that, off the price, depending on mileage and condition and that sort. So in theory, you could get a slightly discounted car, and I mean, it's under full warranty as well, and you would get potentially 1 year of free 1 year of free unlimited supercharging. I would assume it's considered an inventory car, but you would have to ask about that. So a way to get a little discount and free unlimited supercharging for a year. All right, last couple things to note. Apple just did their developer conference, and they came out with iOS 14. But a really cool thing that is in this this release is that they're adding EV charging routing to the maps, like the native Apple maps. So very cool. Clearly a big push in the direction of validating more and more EV cars coming out in the future, and that this is clearly a demand. So it is neat to see that Apple is including this. But now if you, I guess, have iOS 14 and are going somewhere, you can say that you have an EV vehicle, and it will include possible charging stops, which is very, very cool. All right, so last two quick things. Battery Day. Battery Day supposedly is gonna be September 15th with a cell production tour. So very excited for that. If you haven't seen it, go back and rewatch the Autonomous Day. That was very cool. They came out with a lot of neat things, such as the robo-taxi network on that day, and talked about all of that, as well as their neural nets and things of that sort. So Battery Day, very excited to see what they have in store there. You know, potentially longer range coming in the future with newer battery and cell production technology. So can't wait for that. Tentatively September 15th is my understanding. And then last but not least, Model Y is projected to have the third row, a 7-seater Model Y, in the beginning of Q4 or sometime in Q4. So hopefully that will come to fruition. My car is a 7-seater. If you don't know, I do have the rear-facing child seats. I have absolutely never used them. I don't really have any need to use them, but they are a neat little show when I go to, you know, Cars and Coffees and things like that. I pop open the trunk, put the rear seats up, and people are like, whoa, look at that. So, you know, it's a fun little gimmick. My car just kind of came that way. I bought it as a CPO. It was fully spec'd, which included the rear-facing child seats, so I just happened to have them. But either way, Model Y supposedly going to have the 7-seat configuration in Q4 of this year. So lots of things in the pipeline, very exciting. And I guess we'll see what happens. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the content, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It would really help me out. But until next time, thanks for watching.